Welcome back to Terrier Nation. I'm your host, Valeria Bigot.
And I'm Valentina Rossi. On this episode of Terrier Nation, Tyler Davis and Sophia Azzano catch us up on women's soccer, and James Ninneman brings us the latest on field hockey.
We'll hear from Kaishu Murai and Andrew Chuang as they update us on men's soccer. And finally, Mason Jablonsky and Jack Hughes preview the men's and women's hockey season.
All this and more tonight on Terrier Nation.
The women's soccer team hasn't had the best start to the season. They started off the preseason with a tie against University of Vermont, which has historically been an easy opponent for the Terriers. Their struggle has resulted in a 1-6-3 record.
Absolutely right, Tyler. This season for the Terriers has been nothing short of frustrating. They posted a 4-game losing streak up until Saturday when they drew away at Loyola, Maryland in their Patriot League opener. The Terriers put themselves on the board early thanks to a leaping header from forward Margie Porta, but were unable to hold the lead after Loyola free kick in the 65th minute. Ultimately, the draw would break their losing streak, but on the bright side, they are technically unbeaten in the Patriot League after their road trip to Maryland and later New York.
Despite all the struggles the Terriers have faced this season, it's not all troubles in Terrier Town. They did secure their first win against Colgate after the start of Patriot League play. The whole game was very back and forth, but with the game-winning goal came from junior Juliana Giannino in the 87th minute, who has been a consistent pillar for this Terrier team. There have been a few other standout players as well. I'm talking specifically about our goaltending situation. Senior Celia Braun, our well-known brick wall, is around for another season, and we have seen what she can do in goal. But we have another addition, freshman Bridget Carr, who has already made some pretty incredible saves. She made her first start this season against Loyola, Maryland, where she posted a .857 save percentage, and in her second start against Colgate, she posted 11 total saves.
Carr is definitely proving to be a great addition to this BU squad. With Celia Braun graduating this spring, there is no doubt that her spot will be difficult to fill, but Carr is doing an amazing job of showing off her skills between the posts. Carr may be the standout freshman in goal, but this BU team added 7 more freshmen to the squad alongside her, including forward Jaden Schultz. Schultz has played and started in all 9 games this season and recorded an assist against Vermont. She has also tallied up 15 shots, just one behind team leader and veteran Juliana Giannino.
Yeah, all the freshman additions this year seem to be pretty promising for this struggling Terrier team. I have to say though, perhaps the formation is the issue for the Terriers. Most of the time they play a 3-4-3, and I think if they backloaded a bit more and did a 2-4-4, it would be a lot better for them. And that's not to say that their defense is bad. I actually think they have some pretty solid defenders. For example, center back Helene Tyberzi is a key for this back line. But I think if they had another defender during play, then they would have a lot more of a fallback for opposing offense that would bleed through the front and middle lines.
We'll see how the Terriers coaching staff responds after reviewing the tape from their first win of the season. Whether it's adding more freshmen to the starting lineup or switching up the formation like you suggested, the Terriers will have enough to think about before their Patriot League home opener this Saturday versus Lehigh. The Patriot League is in full force with plenty more action to be had this season. Now let's send it over to James with field hockey.
Thanks, Sophia and Tyler. The Boston University field hockey team has had an exciting up-and-down season so far, currently sitting at a 3-4 record. The team kicked off with a dominant 3-0 victory over Providence, led by sophomore goalkeeper Sophie Ortel, who earned a shutout in her first game as a Terrier. This marked their first season-opening shutout since 2017, signaling promise right from the start. However, the momentum didn't last long as BU was outmatched by crosstown rival Boston College, suffering a 6-0 loss despite their best efforts. This pattern continued in a tough loss to Michigan, although senior midfielder Peyton Anderson and sophomore Olivia Hammer found the back of the net. Peyton Anderson has been a standout for BU, leading the team with several key goals this season, including 2 against UMass and the game winner in their 2-1 win over Maine. Anderson has been the team's driving force, especially in tight moments, securing a crucial victory against Maine with her 3rd goal of the weekend. Junior forward Carolyn O'Brien also had a breakout moment, scoring her 1st goal of the season in that match. Defensively, the Terriers have leaned on veteran leadership, with senior defender Katie Devine stepping up in crucial moments Devine earned Patriot League Offensive Player of the Week honors after scoring 2 goals in a dramatic shootout win over Brown and converting her shootout attempt to seal the victory. However, BU faced a heartbreaking 2-1 double overtime loss to Bucknell in their first Patriot League matchup. Despite a valiant effort from goalkeeper Kate Thomason, who made a highlight reel save, the team couldn't overcome a penalty corner goal in the second overtime. A notable change for the team this season is the addition of a new face to the coaching staff. Former Terrier Liz Ryan has returned to BU as an assistant coach 3 years after her time as a standout player. Ryan brings a fresh perspective and a wealth of experience from her playing days, adding to the team's strategy and leadership as they look to build momentum throughout the Patriot League schedule. With key players like Anderson and Devine leading the charge, BU is looking to bounce back in upcoming Patriot League games, aiming to refine their game and build on their early season successes. That rounds up field hockey. Now, over to Kaishu and Andrew with men's soccer.
Thanks, James. The men's soccer team are midway through their regular season, but they are still struggling to get into a groove with a record of 1 win, 2 losses, and 6 draws. Andrew, any thoughts on what might explain their struggle to replicate the great success they had last season as league champs?
I would say the departure of some really talented players, such as 2-time Patriot League Goalkeeper of the Year Francesco Montali, is a heavy loss for the Terriers. The absence of frequent midfield contributors Colin Innes and Quinn Matulas can be felt as well. But the biggest loss might be 2-time Patriot League Defensive Player of the Year Griffin Rodge. The common thread among this year's games so far seems to be that while the Terriers are well capable of scoring, they struggle on defense and can't keep their lead.
Perhaps so, but what the newer and younger defensive players need right now is time. Chemistry doesn't happen overnight, so even though the start doesn't look as stellar, as long as the Terriers are sticking together, I would say the team will only get better as the season goes on. Let's take a look at what the men's soccer team are doing right.
Absolutely. Sophomore forward Andrea Di Blaso was the star of the match against the Black Knights, recording 2 goals, which includes his first career goal. His standout performance helped him become the Patriot League Offensive Player of the Week. We also have dynamic options up top with the likes of junior forward Damala Salami, who is a nightmare for goalkeepers, as well as senior midfielder Daniel Kim, who always brings the energy. Look at what it meant to Kim at the 3-2 win over Army West Point on the 14th, earning their first Patriot League win of the season. The Terriers also tied against the Patriot League preseason poll number 1 Loyola Maryland on the 21st. BU now have 9 Terriers with at least 1 goal this season, thanks to the offensive strength that the Terriers possess.
And on Tuesday, the Terriers faced the Boston College Eagles in the battle for Com Ave, a historic fixture that never disappoints. The top story from this year's rendition of this fierce rivalry was the first career appearance of junior goalkeeper Shiraz Sadat. Newly joined Sadat, who is third in line for the goalkeeper position for the Terriers, stepped up at a crucial time with the top 2 keepers out injured. Sadat played the whole 90 minutes and recorded 5 crucial saves to keep the Terriers in the game. Although the game ended with a late equalizer by the BC Eagles, Sadat seized his opportunity to display his quality. The Terriers will next face Lehigh on September 28th at Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, wishing them the best of luck.
Now bringing you the much-awaited hockey preview is Mason and Jack. Take it away.
Thanks, Kaishu and Andrew. Anticipation is building yet again across the campus of Boston University for another electric hockey season. I'm Jack Hughes, he's Mason Jablonsky, and Mason Agganis Arena is going to be even busier than usual, with 2 teams calling it their home for the rest of the calendar year.
Yeah, absolutely, Jack. With the historic makeover taking place at Walter Brown this semester, we'll be seeing both the men's and the women's ice hockey teams take to the rink in Agganis Arena. Fans have plenty to be excited about, with a jam-packed semester of action at Agganis getting underway. Starting with the women's team, the Scarlet and White will have 6 of its top 10 goal scorers from last season. The Terriers are looking to improve upon a 14-18-3 record that ended with a loss to Holy Cross in the opening round of the Hockey East tournament. Grad student Tamara Giaquinto is back for her 5th season with BU, this year her first as team captain. Last year, Giaquinto set career highs across the board on offense, with 15 points on 5 goals and 10 assists, plus 27 blocked shots. Maggie Hansel, Callie Shanahan, and Julia Shaughnessy were all tapped to be assistant captains for the Terriers this season, bringing with them a wealth of experience as leaders on the ice. Hansel tallied 9 points last year with 3 goals and 6 assists, while Shaughnessy has been a two-way titan in her tenure with the Terriers. And when Shanahan was available last season, she was astounding in net with a .911 save percentage and 2 shutouts. Alongside the familiar faces, the Terriers are also welcoming 8 newcomers to the squad, including 5 freshmen. And Jack, the women have already hit the ice for a preseason exhibition matchup against Concordia. What did you see from that sneak preview into the upcoming season?
Well, Mason, I saw a team that responded pretty well to a slow start offensively and were able to take care of business once they found a rhythm. The Terriers kept pace through the first 2 periods with the help of some twin telepathy, as junior Lily Welke gave a picture-perfect pitchback to her twin sister Louisa for a textbook slap shot to even up the score at 1. Then the third period came and BU wrapped things up with another 2 unanswered, plus an empty netter for good measure. Most of the goal scoring was left to the veterans, with senior Christina Vogt and junior Riley Walsh scoring the 3rd and 4th goals of the game, in addition to the previously mentioned Welke goal. That being said, the newbies are also looking to make their mark, with the goal that gave BU the lead coming from freshman Lola Reed. The Terriers had to go well outside their normal recruiting area to find Reed, who hails from Lincoln, Nebraska, and that decision already paying dividends for the Terriers. BU will start their season proper at Agganis October 1st against Merrimack. That leaves us with the men's team. Mason, what are you thinking about for this highly touted squad?
Yeah, well, Jack, there's no way to skate around it. This men's squad enters the new season with a lot of roster turnover, so it might take them a second to find their footing out of the opening gate. The team will have just 4 of its top 10 goal scorers from last season. Several of the cold-blooded performers we watched last year have departed for illustrious careers in places like San Jose. That's left an opening for some of BU's young stars to step up and lead the Scarlet and White into a new season with high expectations. Sophomore Shane LaChance will serve as one of BU's co-captains, becoming the first sophomore in program history to earn the honor. He'll be joined at the helm by my personal hero, junior Ryan Green, who has been an Ironman in his time so far with the Terriers. Green played in all 40 games last year and racked up 12 goals and 24 assists. LaChance was also electric in his first season at Agganis, netting 13 goals and logging 14 assists. Devin Kaplan will serve as assistant captain after posting back-to-back 23-point campaigns, including 18 assists in his sophomore year. Jack, what are your thoughts on the way this roster is looking to start off the season?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation, Mason. One of the few downsides of attracting the type of talent the Terriers have been able to is that they're less likely to stick around. That being said, BU has done a solid job reloading that talent pool, most notably through the acquisition of 2024 first-round draft pick Cole Eiserman, being able to sway him from joining the University of Minnesota. We even still have 2 Hudson brothers, as Cole Hudson comes to the team after playing with Eiserman on a U.S. National Under-18 squad that bested the Terriers last year in an exhibition match. Also on that team was Camille Benerick, who will be joining BU as well. Safe to say, that existing chemistry will prove instrumental in the early going. What will also be helpful is the Terriers' ability to poach veteran talent away from Hockey East rivals, as senior Matt Capone and graduate student Braden Engum joined the team after great seasons at Merrimack and UMass Lowell, respectively. This is starting to become a trend for BU, as last year they were able to convince the beautifully named Jack Hughes to leave the Northeastern Huskies for their main rival. That experience can really help a team get up to speed quickly. This squad has most certainly earned their designation as a preseason top 3 program in the country. But of course, they still have to go out and walk the walk, with their first chance of doing so being on October 5th at home against the Crusaders of Holy Cross. With that, we'll throw it back to Vale and Vale at the desk.
Thanks, Jack and Mason, and that's all we have time for tonight on Terrier Nation. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and X for the latest Terrier sports updates at Terrier Nation 10. I'm Valentina Rossi.
And I'm Valeria Bigot. From all of us here at Terrier Nation, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.